So I will walk you through this tutorial which shows how to import to Shopify from FTP or SFTP server, to do it as a one-time import or a schedule or repeat several imports from the file that you have on your FTP server. So I have prepared here a directory on our test FTP server, and let's pretend that we are going to need to import this file repeatedly, like every 5 minutes. And maybe you have a script which is adding the data to this file on regular basis, and you need to just continuously upload this data to your Shopify store. So what I'm here in the FileZilla, and I just copy the URL to this file to my clipboard, and I go to the Excelify app, and here in the import section I just paste that URL to this file. And of course I would need to add my password also, so that my URL becomes something like this. There is this SFTP, then there is a user colon the password at server colon port. If you have a non-default port, usually there is just a default, so if you don't know the port, just don't put anything here. Then comes a slash, and then there's a path to directory and to your file name, for example, like this. And okay, let me grab here my password. So I will just change this part to my username and password, and don't worry, we'll change it later to something else. And now I just click upload from URL, and it's connecting to the FTP server, grabs the file, analyzes it, and here it shows that it has found 5 products in this file. And then basically that's it. We could just press import and it would import this file right away. But I will walk you through some additional options that you can set up. First thing important to mention is that this file needs to be in the Excelify template format or in a Shopify template. And you can read about all those supported templates basically here on our website under the documentation. The next thing here under options, you see this is the path to the file, so that you know what you are importing, and you can, if you need later, you can just copy this URL again. And then you can choose what to do with this file when you are importing it. By default, it will do nothing. It will just leave the file as it is on the server. But additionally, you can choose, maybe you want to delete the file as soon as it's being imported, so that, for example, if it continues importing every 5 minutes, it does the import, it deletes the file, and it will go on a repeat every 5 minutes, checking if there is a file again. And when your script puts the file on the server, it will again grab it, import it, and it will delete it for you, so that it would not import it several times. Another thing that you can do is you can move your file to a different directory. For example, here we have on our SFTP server, we have an Excelify folder, and we have created some folders of the job statuses. And for example, what we can do is that as soon as the Excelify starts importing this file, it can put it in your in progress directory here. You can specify whatever directory what you want. It's just for example. Then if it will fail, you can put it in the failed directory. If it will finish successfully, it will put it in the finished directory. And if something will cancel it, it will put it in the canceled. Again, this is a good way to put Excelify in the chain of your automation if there are any scripts working on your FTP server to move the files around. So you can then build in some reactions to, if, for example, if the import fails for some reason, then you can see that something will appear in your failed directory and you will be able to react on that. For the sake of demonstration, I will just put it to delete the file from the FTP server as soon as it's being imported. So the rest of the options, basically, usually you should just keep them as they are, and you can read about them more on our website documentation. But what I will show you is that you can also upload your results file back to the same server, and I will just copy this URL. So usually when you import files with Excelify, we generate a results file, and you can download it from the app. But again, if you are extremely automating some things, you can upload that results file back to the FTP server, and let's see to which directory we will put it. We will put it into the, for example, to the Excelify finished. So test Excelify finished directory, and then we will schedule it to run every 1 minute until cancelled. But of course you don't have to put it so often, because it will really generate a new job every 1 minute. So you need to be sure if you really want as many jobs being performed, so it will really grow the list of your job history. But nonetheless, if you need to have it imported every 1 minute, you can do it. And basically here you can choose the time when to start. If, for example, you wanted it to start today, we have now 9:30, so I could put it to start exactly at 10 o'clock in the evening. And that's useful when you, for example, need to import every 1 hour. And so you want it to start on the whole hours. So you choose the first hour when to start. It can be also time in the past, but then it will start it right away, and it will schedule the next one in the next available whole hour. Like if you would run it like this, then it will schedule it the next one on around 22, because now it's 21:31. So yeah, but I will put like a demonstration on every 1 minute, and that's it. And we will schedule the job and see what happens. So it says the job is scheduled, but since the time is already passed, it should start it right now. Okay, as you can see, the job has finished, and it offers us to download the import results file manually. In this case, we can check. And since we imported a CSV file, it gives us a zip file inside of which we have the same kind of data2 CSV. And when we open it, we can see that we originally had just one column of title, and then it added those 2 columns, which says that the import result is okay and the import comment is new. So it adds those 2 columns which say what happened to each of those products. So in your scripts you can analyze this data and also perform some actions depending on what it did to each of the items. And then if we look on our FTP server, refresh here, we see that the data2 CSV file is gone from here. And in the finished folder, when we refresh, we should see the import results file, the same file that we downloaded manually, but it's also on your FTP server, so you can process it further. So if we go back to the job list, we can see that we have one scheduled job here, and now there are some 3 jobs already failed in a row, because it says that it cannot download the file from this URL because the file or directory is not found, because the file is gone. So it's not being able to import it because it doesn't exist. But we can, again, like let's pretend that there's a script which uploads again this data2 CSV file to our FTP server, and we need to wait for the next job to start. And there it is, it's starting now, in progress. Again, it's importing and it's finished. And this time it shows that it updated 5 products. So again, if we refresh our FTP, then this file is gone. And in the finished folder, when we refresh, we have another results file from that previous file. And so you see there's this one scheduled job, and at some point you want to stop it because it just will go on forever. And to stop it, you can just click here and you can see among all the jobs, here it is, and you can open it and just press cancel, and it will stop the chain. Basically, you just cancel the last scheduled job, and that's it. It will not continue anymore. So in this manner, you can automate import of any kinds of Excelify supported data, which is products, collections, customers, orders, anything that Shopify can hold. And another additional thing that I wanted to show you is that actually you can import not only individual files, but you can import the whole folders, like if you put the path to this folder. And for that we have a special tutorial here that is how to ultimately import files in a batch, but that's another video. And as always, if you have any further questions or issues, please look through our website and definitely watch the How It Works page. It contains everything you need to know to start working with Excelify. And if you have any questions, just reach us here through contact us page, through any of those channels, and we will be there to help you along the way. Thank you, and see you inside Excelify.